Hello friends, and welcome to today's edition of The Couch. I'm Todd Tyler. Today's story is Printcrime by Cory Doctorow. The cops smashed my father's printer when I was 8. I remember the hot plastic in a microwave smell of it, and Dad's look of ferocious concentration as he filled it with fresh goop and the warm, fresh-baked feel of the objects that came out of it. The cops came through the door with their batons swinging, one of them reciting the terms of the warrant through a bullhorn. One of Dad's customers had ratted him out. The police were paid in high-grade pharmaceuticals, performance enhancers, memory supplements, metabolic boosters, the kind of thing that costs a fortune over the counter. The kind of thing you could print at home if you didn't mind the risk of having your kitchen filled with a sudden crush of big, beefy bodies, hard batons whistling through the air, smashing anyone and anything that got in the way. They destroyed Grandma's trunk, the one she'd brought from the old country. They smashed our little refrigerator and the purifier unit over the window. My Tweety bird escaped death by hiding in a corner of his cage as a big, booted foot crushed most of it into a sad tangle of printer wire. Dad. What they did to him. When he was done, he looked like he'd been fighting with an entire football team. They brought him out the door and let the reporters get a good look at him as they tossed him in the car, while a spokesman told the world that my dad's organized crime bootlegging operation had been responsible for at least $20 million in contraband, and that my dad, the desperate villain, had resisted arrest. I saw it all from my phone in the remains of the living room, watching it on the screen and wondering how, just how, anyone could look at our terrible, dirty little apartment and mistake it for the home of an organized crime kingpin. They took the printer away, of course, and displayed it like a trophy for the reporters. Its little shrine in the kitchenette seemed horribly empty. When I roused myself and picked up the place and rescued my scared poor Tweety bird, I put a blender there. It was made out of printed parts, so it would only last a month before I needed to print new bearings and other moving parts. Back then, I could take apart and reassemble anything that could be printed. By the time I turned 18, they were ready to let Dad out of prison. I'd visited him 3 times, on my 10th birthday, on his 50th, and when Mom died. It had been 2 years since I'd last seen him, and he was in bad shape. A prison fight had left him with a limp, and he looked over his shoulder so often it was like he had a tic. I was embarrassed when the minicab dropped us off in front of the apartment and tried to keep my distance from his ruined, limping skeleton as we went inside and up the stairs. "Danny," he said as he sat me down, "you're a strong boy, I know that. You're smart. You wouldn't know where your father could get a printer and some goop." I squeezed my hands into fists so tight, my fingernails cut into my palms. Close my eyes. "You've been in prison for 10 years, Dad. 10 years! You're going to risk another 10 years to print out more blenders and farm and more laptops and designer hats?" He grinned. "I'm not stupid, Danny. I've learned my lesson. There's no hat or laptop that's worth going to jail for. I'm not going to print any of that junk. Never again." He had a cup of tea and he drank it now like it was whiskey. A sip and then a long, satisfied exhalation. He closed his eyes and leaned back in his chair. "Come here, Danny. Let me whisper in your ear. Let me tell you the thing I decided while I spent 10 years in lockup. Come here and listen to your stupid old dad." I felt a guilty pang about making him angry. He was nuts, that much was clear. God only knew what he went through in that prison. "What, Dad?" I said, leaning in close. "Danny, I'm going to print more printers. Lots more printers. One for everyone. That's worth going to jail for. That's worth anything." Well, once again, that was Printcrime by Cory Doctorow. Thanks for stopping by today. As always, I am Todd Tyler, and this has been The Couch. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel at youtube.com/ToddsCouch, or you can hit me up at Twitter at ToddsCouch. I'll see you next time here on the couch.